Be happy. Be healthy. Be your best. Be your best.
So I'm coming to you today from Arizona. I have been here for about a week and a half. For about the last 5 years, I have brought my grandchildren here. The little one at that time was 10 months old, and the older one had just turned 2. And there's a unique program here where they teach them swim survival techniques. And I'm going to be doing an interview with the lady a couple days from now to really give you some of the history, some of the richness of that program. But today I want to share something with you that I noticed from being here with my grandbabies the last couple weeks. And they live with me, their mom and them. But traveling with them and spending time in a new home with them that we stay in for the couple weeks really give me just kind of a close-up ability to look at some of the things with kids that I realized actually stay with us as we grow older. And some of the things that we do with children would actually be really good if we applied them to ourselves when we're older. And one of the things that I really noticed was that as adults, if we wait for motivation to be somewhere for doing something, generally it's not going to happen. Usually action comes first and motivation comes second. Once you get moving, once you get doing, all of a sudden you get this little burst of energy where you want to continue with what you're doing, maybe even expand on it, and you find that time goes by and it's like, wow, something that you didn't feel like doing, you actually got a lot done on. But there's another aspect to that, and I'm seeing it this week with the kids. I can get them started on something like coloring. All of a sudden, it's been an hour and they're coloring pages and they're having a great time and they don't want to stop. But another thing that I noticed with them is that if you're expecting kids not to get into stuff when they're 4 and 6, you might as well forget it. When you're in a home that you have rented from somebody, we actually went through and put breakables up in the closet. But it expanded to another area. And that was that I noticed that I was spending a lot of time each day saying, no, don't touch that. We'll do that later. Or, no, let's not get into the toothpaste and brush our teeth 6 times in the morning. Let's just wait and, we'll do it after you eat and before you go to bed. And all of a sudden it dawned on me that a lot of times what happens is that if you are looking to just have the willpower to do something, oftentimes it's just not there, just like motivation isn't there. And you see it with kids, because with kids, there is no willpower. Trust me. The toothbrushes are sitting there. The 4-year-old's getting into it. The toothpaste is there. She'll brush her teeth 20 times a day. I might as well invest in a toothpaste company. I started noticing in a lot of different things. It's like there is not the willpower in kids, period. If it's there and they're interested, they're going for it. They're getting into it. And you can tell them as many times as you want, but they still, out of curiosity and whatever, there is no willpower. And I realized that as adults, a lot of times we expect ourselves to have a lot of willpower. And yet, ironically, one of the things that we can do when we're older is do the same thing that we do with kids. And that is, why waste so much energy with trying to extend so much willpower with so many things in our lives, where if we just actually remove the item out of sight, out of mind, put it in a different place, do something different with it, we actually would be able to take the energy that we were trying to use willpower with that and focus it somewhere else, and yet still have those items where we use them and have them. For example, let's say you know that you should not be looking at your phone an hour before you go to bed, and yet you have it with you. You sit down in your bedroom. It's right by your side. It dings. It makes a buzzing noise. Whoop, whoop, you look at it, okay? And the remote's right there, so you're turning on the TV. The next thing you know, you're crawling into bed and you're like, phooey, I know that I shouldn't have been doing all that blue light before I went to bed. I should have just been quietly doing some meditation, maybe some stretching, some yoga, maybe reading a book. And yet here I am where I had too much blue light. And you find yourself saying that to yourself 6 nights, 7 nights, 8 nights, 9 nights, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. And finally you're just like, oh, why do we even bother? As opposed to, what if you did the simple thing of setting up a rule and making a habit over a couple weeks of when you go towards your bedroom, your phone gets put in a different room, maybe the bathroom, and it just stays there. You have the alarm set, it's good to go. You have your emergency bypasses on where if somebody has to call, it's going to ring through, but it sits in the bathroom. Then you go and you sit in your room. And by the way, the remote for the TV was put right by the phone as well. All of a sudden, you find that you don't have to have the willpower because the device is in the other room. The remote is in the other room. And all of a sudden, you're able to say, well, okay, how if I wait 10 minutes, that little bit of an urge to go get it's going to go away. And the next thing you find, you sit down with a book or you start doing some stretching. And it's a half an hour, 45 minutes later, and you're feeling good. You stretch, you sit, you read out of a favorite book. Maybe you've got some quiet music playing, even if it's on your phone from the other room. And you have accomplished a lot more without having to use the energy to exert a ton of willpower. It's the same thing with so many other things in life as well. Maybe you are trying to lose a few pounds and you know, if you've got some of those kettle chips in the house that you're going to eat them. Or maybe they're on the counter and you're going to eat them. And so what happens? Over and over again, oh, I'll just have one. Oh, I'll have two. Oh, I'll have a bowl. Oh, half the bag's gone. Might as well eat the rest. You know how that goes. It can be the same thing with ice cream. So one of the things that I've found personally that I've done is I either don't buy the chips to begin with, or I put them in a less accessible place. It's going to take more effort to go and get them and do it. And usually if just 1 or 2 minutes goes by, I find that I can grab an apple or do something else and I am just fine. Okay. And same thing with ice cream. If I'm not wanting to eat ice cream, just me personally, my daughter that lives with me and with the kids, she loves Chunky Monkey ice cream by Ben & Jerry's. I can't stand it. Okay. And there's other flavors that I'm just not a fan of. So guess which ones I buy? Buy the ones that they like. They sit and eat it. I have no intention at all of sitting and eating their ice cream. So I don't have to have the willpower in that particular situation because there is nothing to have willpower with. And ironically, after a while, when you start forming those habits, you actually find that those things, once they are back in your room or are back on the shelf or are accessible, you don't have the same inclination to just give in and do them. You've actually developed a personal habit that no longer even requires willpower. So as adults, you might think about the things in your life that you really want to change that maybe because they're just too easily accessible or have become a bad habit that just needs to be removed from the scenes until you can form a better habit. And then you won't be constantly through the day trying to apply willpower to something where willpower just doesn't work, okay? And motivation isn't there. So there's different ways of handling different situations like that where you end up having a much better result because of just removing from the environment something that's using up a lot of your energy and applying that energy to a more positive action for something that gives you a desired result. And then those things tend to compound and build, and you'll find after a while that you're doing a lot better in different areas. And then you can examine other areas and see how does that apply to other areas in my life. And you'll find that there's all kinds of areas that you can apply that same principle to. Just getting your environment where it is less needing all so much tremendous willpower constantly and having it be where your energy is put more towards action, which then gives you motivation and you start finding yourself improving in a lot of those areas. So it's just something that I noticed with the kids this week. I even played with it some, put some items away, put them out, put items away, put them out. And it was just amazing to see the response. If I put them out, Even within minutes, they were into it. If I kept them away, they moved their attention to something else and stayed busy in an area that wasn't needing me to say, don't touch that, don't get into it, whatever. Now, at the same time, we left some things out because we want to teach them respect for property and the fact that no means no and you don't touch certain things. But at the same time, we didn't leave it where every day, all we were doing was trying to keep them out of stuff and not getting into stuff. So it's been an interesting couple of weeks. They've done great. They are doing really well with their water survival techniques. Like I said, I'll do an interview with the lady later on this week. And they've had a great time out in the sunshine. And they just have had a great couple of weeks in Arizona with swimming and playing and drawing and doing all kinds of things that normally at home they don't get to do as much just because their life is happening all the time. So I hope this helps you just to look at maybe some little ways each day that you can just remove from your radar things that are stressing you out a little bit because it requires willpower that you don't particularly have, and get that out of the way and see if you can take action and get some motivation in other different areas and find over a few weeks that the things that you were requiring so much willpower for actually have lost a lot of that need for that willpower. You can apply it to all kinds of areas in your life. So signing off here from Arizona, and we'll come to you later on in the next couple of weeks with a really, really interesting interview from the lady that teaches swim survival classes to young kids, middle kids, older kids, even adults. And she's got some great stories. So look forward to that. And as always, please like, please subscribe, please share. It means a lot to us. And look forward to you for the next episode.
Your best. Be happy.